Welcome back, everyone. Opposition does not mean hostility, enmity, or antagonism. Democracy needs opposition, one which is vibrant but responsible. Those are President Buhari's exact words today when he had those two-faced meeting with the governors and the political leaders. But what is the margin between opposition and antagonism? We continue the discussion. I say hi, Senator Shehu Sani and our Abuja studio and Mr. Ken Okolugbo. Let me quickly come to Mr. Ken here before I go back to Senator Sani. As it stands right now, do you think that the PDP is a real threat to the APC come 2019?
Well, certainly. The president would even acknowledge the fact that the PDP is a real threat. The PDP is a real threat because of some certain mistakes that were made by the president when he came on board. When the president came on board, he was too slow in appointing his ministers. It took him 6 months in appointing his ministers. It took him 1 year for him to have his own budget. And there were many promises that the president brought into his government that he has not been able to fulfill. If you notice, it's just only now that the Empower is having a semblance of a program. We're having just only 500,000 people. If this next portal goes through, this is a program that they promised 3 million people. The school feeding program is only going on in 21 states, but it is not fully going on. The 25 million Nigerians that were promised a stipend of 5,000 naira, we have not been able to pay up to 1 million. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that this is the same program that the president brought on board, that it's coming back to haunt him. And the lull for the period he's been ill. I mean, nobody would ever wish that the president should have gone through what he has gone through. And, you know, that lull created an uncertainty and certainly gave the impetus to those who thought that they could not subsume themselves under the leadership of 100% under the leadership of Oshibajo, who did quite well, which we have all acknowledged, to cash in on it, and that brought a clog in the wheel of progress. And so certainly all these factors, especially the economic factor, have come back to haunt the APC. And the security issue, which he was gaining so much ground, has crept back, because suddenly you see that Boko Haram is not only going on suicidal attacks again, but they are also going on ambush. Okay. So if you look at all these factors together, he has a whole lot to do in the next 1 year to stop the PDP from becoming a threat. Okay, now I'm thinking now, Senator Sani, when the president said this is not just a political meeting, it's a symbol of unity, but we have 45 political parties in the country right now. So such a meeting, one opposition party was invited. Do you think it's inclusive?
Well, first of all, I would like to intervene in making a little corrections here. Well, I don't think that the president invited the PDP because it poses a threat. His main concern is, I believe, that there is a threat to the unity and the peace of the country. And political parties are major stakeholders in the pursuit of that peace and stability. So I believe that the invitation to PDP is for them to be an equal stakeholders and play the role in finding the solutions these countries need. And when we talk of the achievements of the president, you can't fault the very fact that he has been able to perform in the areas of security, though we must admit there are lapses and there are also challenges there. And on the economy, he has also been able to do a lot, and also on the issue of corruption and the entire image of the country. We shouldn't forget that before his emergence, the whole country was simply a crime scene where people simply loot the treasury of the country with impunity. But that is not the case now. So we must give him credit for that. And I believe that the next 1 year plus that is ahead of us, many things will be achieved. And what I want us to understand clearly is the very fact that we are all, as Nigerians, equal stakeholders in the future of this country. In his very absence, a number of things happened. We have seen ultra-nationalistic groups, secessionist groups. We have seen a resurgent insurgent group in the Northeast. And we have also seen a feeling of uncertainty and fear and apprehension in the minds of Nigerians. So his return has been able to give some form of confidence that certainly...
Senator Shehu, this is one area that I would like you to quickly intervene. The president, a lot of people will say, has an effective body language. For example, the report submitted by the vice president on the SGF and NIA chief. Just how impactful would the decision of the president be when he gives his decision on that report?
Well, first of all, those reports are very key. They are key to the integrity, the image, and the position of the government, because all along, many people have been arrested and tried for corruption, but this time around, it's happening in-house, and the whole country now is having their hands, people are having their hands now folded and see how it's going to act. If we should recall back, the report on the SGF emanated from the National Assembly, particularly from the committee which I chaired. Now the acting president had his own report, which he has submitted now. So how the president is going to act on that report certainly will give the general public a clear view of whether the anti-corruption crusade of this administration is blind to personalities or individuals, or whether it's going to be selective. So it's a very key report, and I believe that is why the president is taking it very seriously.
All right, Senator Shehu Sani did say on the floor of the National Assembly that when it comes to corruption within the presidency, that the government had used deodorant, but outside of it is used insecticide. Still talking about the significance of the president's return and some of these meetings, particularly that report. How significant is the action or inaction of the president on that report will be in the coming days?
You know, I was very particular about that report on the SGF. It's very key that if the president does anything otherwise, perception already, although perception does not amount to guilt, but the evidence is that the committee of the National Assembly did present was too damning for anybody to wish it away. And so the president has no choice. We are not only saying that the SGF should be removed from office, he should be made to face criminal trial, because what he did amounted to a lot of crime.
All right. I will throw this question to Senator Shehu, and I wanted to answer this question just in 30 seconds. Do you think the president will contest in 2019?
Well, I cannot think. I cannot think for him, and I believe that he can think for himself.
Do you think he should? Do you think he should run in 2019?
Say that he has done well, and he should be able to contest, but that also depends on him. And if he wants to contest, he can contest, and if he doesn't want to contest, he will simply back out. But I cannot think for anybody.
All right. Senator Shehu, let's leave it at that. Your final word.
Well, President Buhari has proven to be the proverbial catch with the nightlife. So if he's going to run in 2019, I believe it's his right to run in 2019. But just that it will not be the same situation or the same scenario as it was in 2015.
All right. Mr. Kendo Koligbo, a regular analyst on Channels Television, and Senator Shehu Sani, Senator representing Kaduna State and the Senate. Many thanks for coming on the program. Just before we go, if there is any lesson here, activities in politics produce competition and rivalry, but the rivalry must not be poisonous, neither must it be deadly. We can use some friendliness in our competitiveness. Thank you so much, everyone. That's our show for tonight. Many thanks for being part of it. I'm Sean Kimbale. Bye for now.